Good morning, everyone. Early this morning, right after midnight, I posted my first video in the path that our Creator has called me to walk. Today, I wanted to follow up in this video. I'll try to keep them somewhat short. I tried to do a larger video, and it's hard to get those online, so I'll keep this in segments, and hopefully this makes sense, and go to the Spirit and see if it means anything to you. And I believe it will, as we are all in the same fight together to bring a light here to earth, right? New heaven, new earth. That's what it's all about. But God led me into Revelation 12:5 when He called me and made the bold statement that He did of who I was and His plan. I come from a family, Eastern Kentucky, very poor. If we didn't grow to raise it, basically we didn't need it. Was born into a family of 13, 7 boys, 6 girls. I'm the sixth son by the physical born lineage of the family. I am the 11th child born. Okay. But my mother, before I was born, of course, my oldest sibling has passed away, and I got another one that's passed away. But up around after the 7th child, she was pregnant with the 8th one and lost that when she was a few months pregnant. Okay. In between 2 of the girls, my sisters. So there would have been 14 had that one had made it out of the womb and onto the earth. So God took me back and showed me, the 7 is very biblical in Scripture, Revelations particular to the revelation of Jesus Christ. And that's where I want to keep most of this aligned throughout my walk. But He took me in. I had to search family, through some of the older family members, siblings and stuff, to try to figure stuff out, because the family never talked about the child that didn't make it, or pretty close family, didn't talk about much. But that child was lost. It was the 8th child. So God took me in and walked me through this. He showed me what the spiritual significance of what it means spiritually for the 8th child to pass away before it's born. And then He showed me that child was a male in the womb. And that this is how He hides things in plain sight. Okay, and then they appear at His timing, not ours. Then He showed me through that I am the 7th son spiritually. My brother is the 7th son physically. Now, keep in mind, light and dark. My brother was the 13th child, the one that Revelation 12 talks about, the great dragon, waiting to be born to be devoured. Now, I wasn't old enough, of course, but going back, searching older sibling. The last few children, or maybe even with me, Mom was pregnant, doctors telling her, her inside could fall out. She was terrible birth pains. And my dad would have no other way but for her to keep having children. So there was a dark spirit in him that had control of him and was pushing this through. But it was all God's plan, right? It was written long before my father was born. So God knew this was happening. So I don't hold, even though my family life, I found, even for what my father did to me, to us, total forgiveness. Forgive him, because If it was pre-written, who am I? Turn around and tell God, you're wrong. That was there for my lessons, my life experiences to lead me to where I am at, if that makes sense. But he devoured that 13th child, turned it to a very dark. My dad was a preacher. Well, I don't know if you called him a preacher, but he preached some in the church, the Baptist, Pentecostal. Fought with, darkness his whole life, mental struggles, alcoholism, family issues, just the karma that comes through family lines, like everyone else. He, if I had to look at it from a spiritual standpoint, he held the dark mentality of like the religion of Abraham called it. The sacrificials. He ate lots of meat. He was a huge hunter. It's all he did. Not kind or loving at all. You never got that vibe around him. But my little brother turned out to be just like that. Very dark. Has a lot of potential, has a lot of power in the spiritual, but he only has where the darkness stops in there, right? As we enlighten ourselves, God gives us more gifts. And someday he'll come around. I hope in his time. But this is just a short version of how God has led me to my calling, right? Who I am in Him, and what I have to do. As all of you have been woken up, and each of us has gotten our part. We might not be to the end of it yet, right? But we know we're on that journey. It's us. It's not no one else telling us that, right? We were called by God. Once you understand that voice, there's no mistaking it. I will continue to post stuff, that the Spirit God has shared with me on revealing who I am in Him and what my path is. I don't know how long this takes. It's God's timing, not mine, not yours. Okay? We are called to different places, different times in His will. Some of us think it's us, but it's not. Okay? I love you. God bless. And I'll be talking to you soon.